Welcome to Triple H, Hamilton Happy Hour, where we talk about pianos, talk about music, and everything else in between. Hey everybody, welcome back to Hamilton Happy Hour. Once again, we are joined with Mike and Mike. What's up, guys?
Hey everybody, how's everyone going?
Good evening, y'all.
And we have our special guest today, which is Ellen from the Roland Company. How are you doing, Ellen?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Welcome.
Am I like Taylor Swift now with the Wilson brothers here?
Are you releasing an album today?
Well, you never know.
We'll see how the podcast goes.
Exactly. Let's pray no.
You can sing a song right now and see what happens.
Well, thanks,
We've got a couple pianists.
We can bring a digital in.
There you go.
We've got a couple here.
So you've been with Roland for how long now?
20 years.
Wow. All
Yeah.
right.
Yes, 20 years. It's actually been a great ride, and I've had a lot of different hats with the company.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, my official title is National Sales Manager for the piano division for our independent dealers, which sounds like a mouthful, but basically it's folks like yourself who carry our products in a brick and mortar establishment. And my job, I like to define it as my official job is to make friends for Roland. That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
I'd say it's pretty accurate.
We haven't even got any hats yet from Roland. What's up with that?
Oh, well, anything to replace that Tampa Bay. Steelers fan here.
Oh, boy.
I'm sorry to hear that,
I know, right?
especially if it seems like you're from Florida.
I know, right?
Are you from Pittsburgh?
No, my husband is, though.
Okay.
Actually, noticing your Redskin. No, not Redskins anymore. What are we called now?
They're going back to Redskins.
Yeah. Oh, well, maybe. Yeah. So anyway, I grew up in New York, upstate New York. I grew up as a Yankees fan and a Giants fan.
Oh.
So now I'm a Steelers fan and a diehard Atlanta Braves fan.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So little transitions along the way.
Yeah, right.
I'm the same way.
Which has nothing to do with my job at Roland, but, we just
all
thought
right.
we'd share.
It's okay.
Okay.
Well, the reason why we have our guests is to let the guests talk about yourself and how you got into the business and what you do, with the company. So actually, how did you start with Roland?
Great question. I had I actually have a degree in music education with a minor in music business.
Oh, okay.
So when I first got out of college, I taught public school for a few years back in upstate New York. Wasn't really what I ever wanted to do. I wanted to work for BMI or ASCAP and work in New York City and eventually become an entertainment lawyer. Not sure that would have worked out well for me anyway, but no avenue opened up for that. So after a bit of time, after teaching public school for a few years and just knowing that wasn't for me, I moved myself to Virginia and got a job working for Jordan Kids Music. Which was my entry, which is our connection and my entryway into music retailing, if you will. But I went as a teacher. So I spent my background. They had a little private studio in the back of a mall store. It was all, I was in the purple room teaching piano and organ private lessons. And at the time, this was at the beginning, this would have been in the late 80s, early 90s when the organ business.
Oh, boy.
Yes, the organ business was kind of taking off. And our store in the chain was kind of the test market for the Lowry organ program, which was came from Fletcher's called Music for Life, and I was the guinea pig teacher. You all have met me, so you know I have such a struggle talking and, being in front of people. But I kind of gravitated to that and really enjoyed working with the senior adult population and working with the organ business. That eventually, long story growing longer, that eventually led to me working for Lowry as a representative for the Eastern U.S. I got married. We had moved to Atlanta. I began working in retail, again in education for the dealer Cooper Piano in Atlanta. And while I was there, I received a call from the Roland Corporation inquiring if I wanted to apply for a position that was opening up. The initial position was a district sales manager for the state of Florida, so that's how we ended up moving to Florida. But that did not last very long. It was shortly thereafter that they asked me to become an Eastern manager for their version of the organ world, the Atelier, which is an amazing instrument. So that kind of started the Roland process going. Lots of different hats in the Roland Corporation, but it's been a great ride.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with that organ. So
The Atelier, yeah. It was the amazing, kind of the, Roland, the leader in technology and product, and the Atelier was everything that anybody would want in an instrument. It was really amazing. And we were also owned the Rogers Corporation, which was...
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so eventually we sold the Atelier portion to Rogers, and let Rogers go. Rogers was purchased by somebody else, and the organ business kind of went by the wayside, but that's where I cut my teeth.
Interesting. Because we were at Jordan Kitts, and then down here when I worked for DC Moore, we were an Allen dealer up there, and then I also delivered for an Allen dealer, done music down here. So I've been with Allen organs all my life. So Rogers was always talked about.
I really wasn't very familiar with the more classical side, meaning Rogers and exactly, but definitely with the more home organ side.
Right. Yeah. So it's funny because we just refinished a grandfather clock for a customer. And because we refinished her Baldwin Grand, and it was had like the column style legs. What do you is there an official term for that? But like the round fluted legs, and she wanted to look more modern. It was walnut, so we put new legs on it and did it in all white. She asked us if we could do her grandfather clock.
Oh wow!
So I said, well, I know how to move clocks. I knew how to move clocks because I was trained by Lowry, because Lowry gave away clocks.
That's right. That's why I kind of chuckled when you said clocks. The clock
You knew
promotion.
where I was going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm like, the customer calls, I'm like, well, let me ask Hayden. You know how to move a clock? Yep. And that's why. So I know how to take them apart to do it.
Yeah. So what they, I can't remember, what was the deal with the clocks? If you bought like the 501, like the top of the line or something?
A lot of dealerships would do promotions where, it was what they refer to as the clock promotion.
Right.
And if you got to a certain level of purchase, you got a grandfather clock.
Did you have to work your way all the way through the NL5 all the way
up
to the...
absolutely. and it was like a maze through the store to get to where you had to go. Sure. Yeah. I loved the people. I mean, I think that's kind of what has helped me gravitate to this business. I just like people. I like talking to people. I like working with people. I like learning about people. And I very much liked working with the senior adults. That was part of the organ work.
I tell you what. They had a blast.
Yes, they did.
They absolutely had a blast. Now, they blew all their kids' inheritances.
Well, I think we should go to the next question.
But they had a blast.
They had a very good time.
Yeah,
Wine and all.
Yeah, focus on the positives.
The kids are like, I don't want a grandfather clock.
What is this thing you refer to as an organ? I don't know.
Darn sure didn't want an $80,000 organ.
It's funny.
Yeah, no, that was good times. But then the 90s was really something for that program.
It was very much so, yeah.
And how we connected was Mike had some Rolands come in, that we had to deliver to customers.
Yes.
And we would set them up, and Mike brought up to me, he goes, why don't we become the Roland dealer? And I said, well, I've never done digitals before. I'm an acoustic guy, blah, blah, blah. And then the last one that we set up was, I think it was a GP6, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. And so
that we delivered for one of the Dolphins players or something like that.
Yeah. So I went ahead and played it. I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty nice, And I was just kind of, I'm just not a digital person. I'm not an electronics guy. And I'm like, well, okay. So called, emailed Roland. You called me, came over here and said, what do we have to do this? And we did it and became the premier dealer. Right.
And you're very happy.
I'm very happy.
But, I actually take it as a highest compliment that you chose Roland to be your digital piano line, because, frankly, you have an amazing business here. And you're very focused and very knowledgeable on acoustic piano, from your building side to what you do on the retail floor. And to find that our product fits in your philosophy is quite a compliment from somebody at such a high level acoustic dealer. So thank you for putting your trust in us.
No problem. You're welcome.
We thank you.
Let's talk about an order. No.
Edit. And
it's time for break.
Well, one of the things too is your 10-year warranty that you guys have.
Huge.
That is huge.
Everybody.
Absolutely huge, because
Right.
that shows how much you stand behind your product.
Absolutely.
And all the I know you don't like the bells and whistles quote, but it's that, you can change the tuning, you can change the touch, you can change, the lid resonance, the soundboard. I mean, there's so many things with it.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And
Right.
you can change all that.
Well, you referenced I don't like the bells and whistles comment, because to me, the first and foremost, it's a piano, and it has to be a good piano, which it is. It's a very fine piano based on a fine acoustic grand piano. So if it didn't sound right and didn't feel right, who cares about bells and whistles?
Sure.
So it's, to me, that's most important. But then the benefit of all the additional technology that's there, whether it be recording or educational tools or different sounds to play with, or just the ability to always be in tune. Those are additional benefits. But
Say like bells and whistles even.
maybe we could phrase it that way if you'd like. But honestly,
or weights and clocks. Or something.
if it wasn't a good piano, none of that would matter.
Yeah.
None of it would. So yes, I appreciate your comment on the warranty, because we're very proud of that. And as you've stated in a previous podcast, you referenced that
Until
because-
now.
Right, of course.
yeah,
Yes,
so
thank
now.
you, Mike. It wouldn't. There would not be a 10-year warranty if it wasn't a quality product.
Right.
And it's very unheard of in
Yeah.
a electronic,
Yep.
technology-based product.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that that's what customers ask for. Like, we have a warranty with our pre-owned pianos that's the same as a new piano purchase. Why? Because we can back it up. So it's the same thing with Roland. You guys can back up
That's right.
your product, and Roland customers are very loyal. That
Yes.
I,
Well,
that I have
absolutely.
learned.
Yep.
Yes.
We've had numerous customers come in. I want another Roland.
Trade
Yes.
in the
I
roll.
want another
Yep.
Roland. And with that, it's like that's what I look for in customers for us rebuilding. Like, we're rebuilding a Steinway O for a customer in Oklahoma, and he was so happy with the Steinway L that we did that he sent us their family piano to be done. We
Wow.
just moved it into the back here, and we got to prep it. But that's what we want. Because we're loyal to you. We want to be you loyal to us.
Absolutely.
It's just like even the people that work here. It's the same thing. If we're loyal to you, be loyal to us. And if the world was more like that, with people. I saw you roll your eyes.
No, I didn't roll my eyes.
No, him. I pointed to him.
Oh.
But that's the thing. If the world was more like that, it would be easier place to live.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But when it comes down to that warranty, and it comes down to backing yourself up, like we back ourselves up.
That's right.
Now, knowing that Roland backs us up, and it's a two-way street. You back us up, we back you up. That's how it should be.
The name of your business is Hamilton Piano Company. Your name is Hamilton. It's important that, what is presented to the consumer and to the public. I mean, that's your name. It's very important. So,
Absolutely.
you don't want to put something out there that makes, because they're not going to say, oh my gosh, that Roland, or oh my gosh, that Steinway. Oh, they're going to say, oh my gosh, Hamilton.
And that's the name they're going to remember.
That's right.
So
It's important.
Even though it's a Roland product,
Right.
they're going to, there's an issue called Hamilton.
Right. Right.
But numerous times. So we started working together since December, I think it was, right?
Yeah,
That's
it
when
hasn't
we
been very
became good
long.
deal.
Yeah.
And I've called you numerous times, but you've always been so gracious to answer the phone. And even when you were on vacation, I think a couple times, you're so nice to answer the phone, because we're new to this.
Right,
I feel like a rookie in this field, because we are.
We are.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but the phone calls have been less and less and less, a little bit through the months, I think, right? But it's also in my brain up here with everything else I got going on. It's just one more thing to, hey, I know you told me this, but I'm asking you again just to make sure, or because I forgot. Chances are I forgot. But also you've trained Mike, and you've trained a couple other people here on how they work, including myself, and it makes it better too, because when we deliver it to a customer's home, we have the update done. We can show them how to
Yes.
work the iPad.
Yes.
We're that one step ahead.
Yes.
Or phone.
If
I hook them
Right.
up to their phones a lot.
Oh, do you?
So, yeah.
Cool.
but if they were to get it, directly shipped to them, they don't get that service.
Oh, that's right.
You know, I mean, we had a customer that did buy one, and he had it shipped to his home, and he came to us. He goes, "Can you please put this together for me?" You know, it takes two people to put them together,
Right.
and we said, "Sure, no problem." So we went out there and did it, and hooked them up to the app and everything like that. So there's a lot more that's involved, and you know, I recommend that customers should come to Hamilton Piano Company, you know, to get it from us, because you're going to get that service too after the fact.
Service is king.
It is.
Service is king. You know, a product is a product, but the service is the most important feature of the product, if you want to talk features, and before and during and after a sale. And that is actually incredibly important to Roland. And when we're, you know, we had our very first conversations about bringing Hamilton Piano Company in as a Roland authorized dealership. That was part of the conversation. You know, I'm not interested in somebody that just wants to sell stuff and then, you know, wash their hands of the customer. I mean, it is a relationship that you're building, because our name is on the line just as much as yours.
Right.
And that's very important. But consumers nowadays, you know, things have changed. You know, with the shopping, the way people have
Become a
shopped.
very digital world.
Absolutely. Very different from when I started in this business. We won't remember how many years ago. You know,
3.
But it's, 3. Thank you, Mike. Yeah. Did I mention you're my favorite Mike?
No, not yet.
But he came from Jordan Kids. You guys have Kismet together.
Did I
thought that
mention
was
you're my
something.
favorite Mike?
You did earlier before you got here.
that was over 3 years ago.
Right. But you know, we as a society are trained for instant gratification. You know, we want to just have some, I guess you could call it privacy in our purchasing. We don't tend to interact with humans anymore. We'd rather just do it at home from our computer in our privacy, but we still want a human to help us if we need it.
Absolutely.
And that is just, to me, the key to the whole thing. The product is fabulous. This is no disrespect to our Roland pianos. I mean, they're amazing. But if there's not good service, you know, good dealer interaction with customers, it's just a commodity.
Right. Well, it's like, so we just got a CNC machine. Oh,
I don't know what that is.
Okay, computer pneumatic control machine.
I still don't know what that is.
Okay.
We'll show you after
It's
the
a big
podcast.
paperweight. We'll show you after the podcast.
Okay.
But we got it, and it took me a couple years. So, you know, if we use this analogy of someone looking for a piano or a digital piano, okay, but I'm looking for a CNC machine. All right, use that as an example.
Okay.
It took me years. Like a couple years that I'm sitting here going, where do I get it from? You know, this one's made in China, this one's from Georgia, this and this and this.
Right.
So I ended up getting one from a company in Belgrade. They make them there.
Wow.
Right,
Right
yeah.
here.
Right
Palm
around
Beach
the
County.
corner.
Yeah, right, exactly. And when I talked to them a couple years ago, I've changed my way of thinking too, because I wanted 5-axis, I wanted this and this and this. Well, now we're at 3-axis, and long story short, I went out there to see the company, CLN, and Mackenzie, who owns the company, super cool guy. He's going to be on the podcast too. I was like, okay, it's made here, it's built here. If I need a part, I get it the next
Service.
day. It's
All
boom,
about
boom,
the
boom.
service.
Yeah.
So it all comes back to the service that Roland can do too, where they can, you know,
Yep.
have it taken care of if there is an issue.
Absolutely.
And if it's something that's too far gone, you guys just replace it,
Yeah.
right? On certain things,
Yeah.
you know. So who can say that? You know, I mean, it's a lot. It's we can't really do that with an acoustic piano, but we can fix. You know, acoustic is acoustic. I mean, it's completely different.
Right.
But you know, it was that part of it. So as a consumer, I'm sitting here going, for the last couple of years, I'm looking at these CNC machines. I'm trying to figure something out, and I'm like, God, I really want to go with this company, but you know, it's made in China, and I'm sitting here going, like, if I have a problem, I'm not looking at the right here and now. I'm looking at the 2 years from now. I got a problem. I need a part.
Right.
What am I going to have to go through to get that part?
And that can only be a nightmare.
Exactly. We don't have that problem.
That's right.
You know, so with that, you know, I know that I could, if I needed it right then and there, I could drive an hour west, grab it, and come back. So we're very fortunate that it is
So
in our
local.
backyard.
Yeah, you really are.
Because this is a big thing. Like, you know, when I was getting growing the business, one of the things that I wanted to do was be that big boy shop, and to me, to be a big boy shop was doing soundboards. That was me. So I invested all the time, all the money in the machinery, building our presses, doing what we do, and getting with the right people to help me. So it's kind of the same thing with this. We became that kind of big boy shop, but now we're big boy plus, I think, with this having the CNC machine.
That's not XXL, is it?
No, it's
okay.
like XXL.
We're just XL right now.
Okay. Just checking.
But I because with us here, we want everything in-house.
Sure.
And we want to, okay, you need a new leg made, we can make you a new leg.
Right.
So that's what I was going to say, since she doesn't know, when we just keep calling it a CNC machine, tell her what we can do with it.
So what we can do is if someone needs a new lid, we can make a new lid. If they need a new leg, music desk,
Soundboard.
lyre, we can cut soundboards with it. We can do pin blocks. We can
You
do
just program it in, and it will cut it all out for you.
Absolutely.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's amazing.
It's
Drill holes so you can
is
do
a
the whole
game
nine.
changer.
Wow, absolutely. Absolutely.
So-
and critical for what you do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I even went to
And caster cups.
we're gonna make our own caster cups now.
All those legs on top of the racks, we can throw them out now.
After we program them in.
No, we're gonna add to it. We're gonna stockpile some more.
Whoa.
But I even went to my buddy Lee Yo. He's Dr. Yo. He's the professor at FSU.
Oh, okay.
And so we became very good friends. And I went. My daughter goes there, so I've been up there. And he was able to. It's the college's CNC machine. So it's not like he can just go there and use it.
Oh, I see.
He has to set time to be able to look at things and blah blah. Blah.
It's a piano tech program.
Yeah, he has a piano rebuilding program.
Really?
There. Oh yeah.
State.
Oh, there's too few of those. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yep. So I was bringing my daughter back, to college, and was able to arrange time for me to be able to see what they have for CNC machines, and they actually have something else now that I haven't seen yet, which I probably will maybe when I go in a couple weeks to take my daughter back. But I learned so much.
Right.
The guys at FSU were so nice to show me around and say, hey, you don't need to do this. You could do it this way and this and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, man, you guys, that's like saving me $20,000 right there, with the way that they were showing me how you could do things.
So helpful.
I just had a thought.
Uh-oh.
With that $20,000 you saved.
No.
So you know how we did the upright acrylic piano.
Mm-hmm.
We could actually do an upright acrylic Roland digital.
We could. No problem.
That's amazing. I love
So that way you would see all the innards in it, and
absolutely love that acrylic piano over there that you've put an FP30X
shell.
into.
Yeah.
But if we did
yeah,
LX5 or
yeah.
LX9,
That's crazy.
it would be awesome.
We could do that.
And I imagine people gravitate to that because it's different.
They do.
Everybody wants something different.
Yep.
They don't want to be the same as everybody else.
What we've tried to focus on here is one of a kinds.
Sure.
We're doing things like, on our Facebook post, on our YouTube, is you'll see videos of pianos. We're doing a one of a kind in the back. Did you see the pink piano back there?
No, I was busy working.
Okay. After the podcast, we'll show you.
Okay.
It's a one of a kind piano.
It's that Jordan Kitts mentality.
I'm working.
And that's what I like focusing on. I love the traditional stuff. Don't get me wrong.
No, but
it's kind of like with Steinway. I love Steinways, but it's like when you do one Steinway, it's the same color over and over again. It's like, man, I feel like I'm doing the same piano. But when you start customizing pianos, you're taking a Steinway or a Yamaha or whatever it is, and you're making it different. It's like, oh, it's new. It gives you, it makes you feel more alive, trying to make something that no one's ever seen before, that no one has.
Right.
So that.
Did you see the purple one we just did recently?
where
Yeah,
have
we
I
gotta-
been?
we gotta-
Am I under a rock
Facebook.
somewhere?
Yeah.
Are you
that was
not
our-
on our Facebook?
That was our first big reveal.
Okay.
We did
Yeah.
a reveal and had her come
Okay,
see it.
later
we drew
tonight.
the curtains and opened up the curtains and had her see
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Really?
So,
Oh, yeah.
It was really
Oh
cool.
gosh, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
But,
It was really
you know,
really
to
cool.
that point, I know on a previous podcast, the Tobias, you had mentioned one of the things you also liked besides the warranty was the finish choices
Yes.
on the Roland pianos. And you guys have done quite well with the light oak
Oh, yeah.
finish in
Yeah.
this
It's a
market.
great color.
And I remember when we first started talking, like light oak is very popular. I'm like, what? No, we can't sell these.
You are one of many dealers. Everybody says the same thing, and if I can, encourage somebody, just put it on your floor.
In a,
Yeah.
in a
You'll
beach-
see.
in a beach market.
Oh yeah.
It-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
People love it.
I don't.
Several to Palm Beach.
It really, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. It's called light oak. I kind of like to refer to it as light ash because to me it's more like a baseball bat. It's
It
ash.
looks like an ash
Yeah,
wood too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Beach
right,
oak.
Right, beach oak. You call it whatever you want. Just keep selling it.
Just keep buying it.
That's right.
But no, you were right. And when you brought that to my attention, I said we can't sell these because we have oak
Sure.
vertical pianos.
It's very
they're
different.
hard to sell.
Yes.
But this is so light of an
Yes.
oak color.
Yes.
That it
Which
it has
is
been very
behind us,
popular.
if
It's
you can
right
see
there
it.
if you can see it. Right there.
It's gorgeous, and
really
it
is.
sells very
Place your
well.
orders with Hamilton Piano Company right now.
But it's that uniqueness that
is.
you were just
It
talking
is,
about.
Yep. And that's the thing too, like with the different colors, and also so it's kind of cool too because you guys sent us how the action works inside the piano because
Right.
customers are like, well, what about weighted keys and escapement and blah blah blah, and so I start showing them. Now I can demonstrate that between an acoustic piano and the digital.
Yes.
Which is very cool because they get to see it, and then they also see, hey, the keys wood with the plastic top like an acoustic piano. So we start showing it to them that way too, and they feel more comfortable, with when they're purchasing because that's the thing with customers. No matter what they're buying, a car, a house, pants, whatever, they want to feel comfortable in
That's
it.
right. Absolutely.
So, and that's our job is to make you feel comfortable. So when a customer comes in, if they want an acoustic, they want a digital, it's our job to make them feel comfortable with their purchase.
Right.
And yeah, no, it's been a great relationship. It really has. Kudos to Mike for bringing that up because
Thank
that
you,
was
Mike.
that's,
You're
that's
welcome.
on him.
You're forgiven for that Tampa Bay hat.
I'll buy you one next time you're here.
Okay, thank you. I might conveniently be left behind. Now, you're spot on that, and especially in our world, acoustics. And maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong, but because you can get too deep in explaining things. It has PHA, it has supernatural, it has modeling, it has and you're kind
You
of
can adjust
talking
the key
over.
weights. You can do
Right, and you start talking over people's head, and suddenly they feel like they're not good enough
Yeah.
for it, and they're
Right.
not comfortable anymore. And you guys have the perfect setup to just tell the story of what makes a piano, and the Roland, the digital components and aspects are such a great benefit, but the piano itself, is amazing.
Well, absolutely.
And that's the story to start with always. The people walk in your store because they wanted to buy a piano. They didn't want to buy a computer.
Right.
They don't want to talk about all that stuff. They want to know they want to be comfortable that they're making a good purchase for a good piano and a good investment.
Correct.
Yeah, because it is a big purchase.
Absolutely.
No matter if it's a keyboard or a piano or an acoustic piano or whatever it is, it's still a big purchase. It is something that they are going to take with them for years.
Right.
You
It's
know,
a personal purchase.
right.
Yes.
And I thought you were
The
gonna say
Roland
something.
that I got from you was from the 80s, and it still works.
Yeah.
No, that's kind of the downside. They're really good.
They are. And it still works.
They last a long time.
I had to make my own power cord, but I did make it, and it still works.
Yeah, and but that comes with anything electronic. Computers, phones, whatever. I mean, they're always upgrading things.
Right.
And we have one over there that is on consignment for a customer because he went and bought an LX9, I think, from us. Because his one fit, and his is comparable to the GP9. See, I'm getting really good
You
at remembering
really
my
are.
model.
Yes, I saw that.
And
He studied before you got here.
Whatever it takes.
and it was a GP9.
He didn't have anything else to do today.
Not at all.
Oh yeah, nothing.
So it
He had
was
an
a
easy
crazy
day until that came up.
So you can see his, which is only 4 years old. It's not very old, but the difference between 4 years ago to now, there's a lot of similarities, but there's also a lot of advances.
Yes.
Can that one be upgraded?
depends on your definition of upgrade.
Through
Would you like to elaborate?
like the programming
Well, I think one of the things that is a
with the USB
benefit to Roland is if a customer has a piano and we've made some sort of tweak to that piano, maybe we've discovered it needed to have a sound that was accidentally left off, or maybe there was some sort of balance that needed to be fixed. We do a software update. And those software updates are free of charge always to our customers, and they can, check their software version and get the update downloaded, and it's just via USB, as you said. Some of the features are not as not easily updated. And so the difference between, you're referring to the 609 that you have to the GP6, that's a completely different sound engine inside those two pianos.
Okay.
So that can't be updated.
Okay.
So it really just kind of depends on what it is. But, when you kind of keep referencing consumers and what they like, I always like to, whenever I'm doing trainings in the store like I was doing today, I'd like to spend some time on the connectivity of the Roland pianos with our corresponding Roland piano app, which iOS, iPad, phones, Google's, whatever you're using. It's Bluetooth connectivity to your device, and via the app, you have the opportunity to not access what's inside the piano. Touchscreen, if you will, from the app, but you also have the ability via what we call the Roland Cloud to access more content for the piano, which you can get through the app. So it's not technically you're updating it with a USB key and things like that, but the piano can grow with you as you, and that's something that it's a challenge because there's so much in these pianos. I have an LX9 at home, and I haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg of what's in that piano, but I play for my own enjoyment.
You got to stay home a little more.
Well, that could be it too. There's that. I've been talking to my husband. But he plays one way, I play another. He plays. He's a jazz pianist, amazing pianist, plays by ear, just great. I read music. I'm a classically trained pianist, and I read. Between the two of us, we're great. A great player. But we both utilize different things in the piano. So, he'll do a lot of connecting his, he doesn't have an iPad, a Kindle, or whatever it is, Samsung, whatever. He'll connect it to the piano via the Bluetooth and do a lot of YouTube. Play a song on YouTube, learn it, from there, move along. I like the fact that I can download new songs and content, and the sheet music's there from the cloud, and then I've constantly got new stuff. But the sheet music there for me to read. But there's so much in the pianos, you can't touch it all. And I think sometimes people think, I need to know how to use everything. Well, no, you don't.
No, you don't.
And you never will. But it gives you room to grow.
Absolutely.
The instrument grows with you, if that makes sense.
Well, what I also like about the Rolands is the fact that you've got that teaching technology.
Yes.
So, which when I hook up to, the Roland for a customer and the Rolands for her husband,
right.
She goes, well, I'd like to learn too. I said, well, you have this learning app here.
Right.
I said, and it will teach you.
Right.
Really? So go into the learning screen and it will, step by step.
Study some flashcards.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
And she's like, really? I was, yep, absolutely. So she goes, great. Thank you very much.
Right. Well, Mr. Kakahashi, our founder, practice it with me, Mike.
Ikutora.
Kakahashi. Thank you. We've been working on this.
Say that 6 more times, please.
Actually, if I can share the book, I'm going to send you guys this book. It's fascinating, the story of his life and how he created Roland and his early beginnings. I mean, he was orphaned at the age of 2. His parents both died. I think it was tuberculosis. And he was he came in at the cusp of World War II, and just the beginnings of his life, just amazing. He was hospitalized, when he was a senior in high school, not thinking he was going to live, and he got into talk about grandfather clocks. He got into fixing watches and had his first business at the age of, 16, 17, had a shop repairing watches.
That's right, I remember reading that.
Yeah. I mean, it's fascinating, and all the developments and how his brain must have worked. I have been blessed truly feel that way to have met him a number of times and had shared a meal with him. And I just think he's was such a visionary. We lost him a few years back. He has a Grammy for the co-development of MIDI, which is still the industry standard. There's a whole section in the Grammy Music Museum, NAMM Museum, dedicated to him. But I don't even remember why I got off on that tangent now. But it was his belief in education. And a lot of what's inside the Roland pianos is based on education, which I think is why I gravitate to them, because that was my core.
That's your background.
Yeah, it's my background is education. And
Makes a lot of sense.
yeah, and they help people to learn, and especially
Absolutely.
kids nowadays. You know, I think back to when I was teaching public school or when I was teaching private piano lessons back for the 2000s.
3 years ago.
Yeah, right. I mean, kids learn differently. You know, when I was a kid, we looked at encyclopedias. Now they're told to Google it.
Yeah.
You don't know what an encyclopedia is. We didn't have cell phones.
Collier's 1967 encyclopedia. That's what we had in our house.
Right, yeah.
And
yeah.
I couldn't get away from it.
salesman.
And we used silver Burdette learning books in the classroom, and now they're using iPads. You know, everything is so very different, but they expect technology. They've grown up with technology. They expect technology and everything they do. So to be able to blend those two worlds, because their attention span is so much shorter than ours were when we were kids. You know, you just look at, you
Go
know.
out and play.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And don't come back till 6 o'clock. You know, we'll
The
unlock
lights
the
are
door.
on, you better
Yeah,
be in
right.
this house.
Exactly. And now, you know, you can even look at commercials and the speed at which commercials go versus what they used to.
Yep.
You know, so
So
to
they're
ask
they're
them,
wired completely
yeah,
different.
and to
Oh,
ask
absolutely.
them to sit still for 30 minutes by yourself and
Forget it.
play the piano. I mean, it's not in their wheelhouse.
no,
But
it's
to
not.
say, sit there, get your iPad out, play along with this, you know, MIDI track that's going to help you learn and play with you. I mean, that is such a better avenue for
Pretend
success.
it's a game.
Yes, there's so many games on there.
Yeah.
Absolutely, the flashcard thing is a game.
Yep.
You know, and you I didn't get a perfect score. I got to try again. It
Yeah.
just, you know, it's. I really like that about the pianos, because it doesn't shy away from the fact that you need to learn. It's just the proper supplement to help them do so.
Well, that's just like the metas. You know, the virtual reality metas.
Yes,
They have a piano program in there to where you can actually learn to play the piano
really.
through it. I mean, and you line it all up, and it has all A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you know, and it's everything coming down. You have to play it as it's coming down.
Right.
And it's not easy.
No, I bet
Ask
not.
this one.
Shut up.
I tried it once for 2 seconds.
He said, "This is really hard."
Like that, you know, rock
not
band
easy,
or
though. It
whatever.
really
yeah,
isn't.
Right?
No,
No, it's a different. And we have to acknowledge that. It doesn't mean it's bad. You
Right.
know, it's just a different reality. For
And you have
kids.
to adapt to that.
And-
Absolutely.
and on
Yeah.
top of that, I think it would be great if we use that in different avenues of education, not just music. You know what I mean? If,
absolutely.
if we learn how
I
to do
agree.
that with math and history and
Yes.
English and all that stuff, make it a game, because that's where our kids are.
Right.
And that's
Virtual
what's gonna help
reality.
them learn.
Yeah. No.
No, I
I
mean,
don't
some
disagree.
version of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to meet them where they are.
Yep.
Help them fall in love with. You know, this is when
Mm-hmm.
I preach to piano teachers when I do seminars for piano teachers. Meet them where they are. Use the tools available to help them fall in love with making music. Then you can take them where you want to go. But if
Absolutely.
you can't get them over the brink of that, you know, nobody gets out of book one.
All right.
Yeah.
You know?
Look, what's that?
Right, exactly. That too.
It's on the iPad.
Yeah. Right.
And
They don't even get books in school anymore.
Oh, Chromebooks.
Chromebook.
Right.
Yep.
what Mike was saying earlier, you know, so you could take, that's the beauty of the digital piano from
Right.
Roland, is it could be fit both people's needs.
Yes.
You know?
Whatever
So-
you need it to be.
So the husband likes it this way, the wife likes it this way,
Yep.
and they can change it and keep it that way.
Absolutely.
You know, because the way with acoustic piano, you can't do that.
Yep.
You be
That's
every time the husband wants to play it, technician would need to come in and change something. You know,
That's right.
if they don't like it exactly the same way. You know, so usually with acoustic they would have two different pianos. You know, but with a Roland digital, You don't have to have that.
Nope.
You can have one piano and they can change their settings and put it to the way that they like it to be.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And
Anybody in the family can play it their way.
Yep.
It's a family
It
instrument.
doesn't sound right. Well, change the tuning.
Yes. Yeah.
And you can in the
I
Rolands,
share
which
this
is awesome.
story. Maybe I shouldn't, but it is one of the advantages of having what they call the piano designer, what we call the piano designer, where you can actually voice the instrument to be how you want it to be. But I was working.
I've noticed that.
I was working a college sale. This was many years back, and with a colleague of mine, I won't mention where. And there was a woman who came in, an older woman. You could just tell, and forgive me for being snarky, but you could just tell she was very, she was going to be a challenge. Very persnickety.
That was so polite.
Yeah, she was going to be a challenge. But she went around to every piano in the room, and we're just standing in the back watching her, and she's hitting the low D at every piano, going around to every D. No, and making a face every time, and just in the entire room. And bless his heart, my colleague.
That's probably the only song she played.
I think it's called One Note Johnny.
My colleague Dan said, "Watch this," and he invited her over to the Roland piano. I think at the time it was an HB 605.
So you're looking for a low D? Huh?
Have I got a low D for you? But he sat her down and she played.
Come
it,
on
and
in the back.
She just said, "No, it's out of tune. It doesn't sound right. It's out of tune." He said, "Well, let's fix that." And he sat there with the designer and changed it till it sounded, even though he made it out of tune, it sounded in tune to her.
Right.
And that's that personal aspect of playing the piano. And so you can really, to your point, Mike, you make it be what you need it
Absolutely.
to be.
I've had to do that on an acoustic piano.
Yeah.
Where
Yes.
the artist said,
Untune it.
Nope,
Detune it.
Yes.
This is
Right.
how it is. Even a private customer, she goes, "This just doesn't sound right." And I said, "Well," and I went through each note and I'm detuning the piano.
Right.
Because that made sense to her ears. And I told her, I said, "Don't tell anybody I tuned this piano."
I'm not
seriously.
signing that card.
I'm like, this is out of tune.
Right.
But
it
for
sounds
her,
right to her.
And I was pleasing the customer.
That's right.
That's what it boils down to.
Please do not leave us a review.
Because if you don't do that, you could stand in the way from somebody enjoying the gift of music.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And you don't want to do that. That's not our job. Our job is to share the
Not
gift
put
of
an
music.
ambassador for the piano does.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and the history of how Roland started to where it is now.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
you kind of think of that legacy. You're trying to keep all of that going. How many companies can say that they try to do that?
Yes.
It's very rare in the world because, this happened, he passed away, we're done.
Right, exactly.
yeah.
No, but we want to keep his vision alive.
How many
and,
digitals offer a 10-year warranty?
How many? None.
Right.
No.
None.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, exactly.
And so keeping it alive like that is starting it in the year 2025.
Right.
It's like it's back to the beginning of when did Roland first came out?
1972
1972.
was when the company was formed, yes.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
For digital pianos in the digital world, that is a very long time.
Digital pianos were not the first instruments that Mr. Kakahashi, manufactured and came out with. That was more into the 80s. But the company was founded in 1972. Okay. But regardless, the 80s versus the 70s, right?
Well, y'all also manufacture like Boss.
Yes, we Roland. I don't know if the right word is conglomerate, but that's the word that's coming to mind. Roland, as a whole, our headquarters is in Japan, but I work for Roland U.S. So there are kind of what we call sales units around the country. So I work for Roland U.S., where our headquarters is in Los Angeles, and under our umbrella of companies, there's been some that have come and gone. If you remember the name Edirol. Edirol used to be part of the Roland family, and it is no longer. Rogers was part of the Roland family, and it is no longer. But Boss, a huge name in guitar world, and amps and speakers and things. So it's under our umbrella. DW in drum world is also part of the Roland umbrella.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, drum workshop. That was just recently, actually a few years back, but DW drums, V-Moda. Headphones, very high level headsets that are in our headphones that are
Maybe
in
we
our.
should reinvest.
Yeah, we're gonna take these. We're gonna talk about these after the podcast.
Man,
Are you sending us new
can
ones?
you make it?
These things sound
cordless?
terrible.
Yeah, we'll have a little conversation.
Really, you realize how terrible these things sound.
And our commercial break from
This is what we've been looking for.
we're looking for sponsors, by the way.
Yes.
The nice thing about all those entities is they're groundbreaking in many ways within each entity, but also you get to share technologies. There's such a thing you might not be aware of as the V accordion. Virtual accordions.
Oh,
Well, God bless you.
Huge. Yeah, right, yeah. Absolutely huge product. Amazing product. Go to YouTube and Google, V accordions, and you'll be amazed at what the technology and what they can do. Just like we were talking about the Atelier organs, and then that technology transfers itself to other portions of the company. It's amazing.
You should ask Al Yankovic about that.
Absolutely, right,
Hey,
yeah.
you want to try
Well,
that?
that's just like your son. He has a boss that he was trying to configure the other day, which
It's
it took
actually
him.
my boss, but yes, I let him use it. The foot pedals, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
So
Yeah.
he's trying to. What you're
ahead.
getting at
Yeah.
is he was playing his saxophone through it, and he was trying to get this funky sound coming out of it, like you
Okay.
can with a guitar.
Sure, right.
You can make all these funky sounds with the guitar, but he was doing it with his saxophone. We played with it one night, and I think he got it to where he wanted it to be, but it was a little tricky, to
Yeah.
do it that way.
Has your son ever tried an aerophone?
Nope.
May I suggest a Christmas present?
You're a good salesman. Really.
Did you want to bring one so we
I
can see
should, I
it?
should stop by with an aerophone.
What's an aerophone?
It's an electronic saxophone, basically. My daughter was a saxophone player, so I got one. That's also a very nice benefit of working for Roland. You have, occasionally a ability to have a sample product that you can get at home. So I got one. Yeah. So you breathe into it as if you're breathing into the mouthpiece, and you play it. Fingering's the same as a saxophone, but it is. It's got USB connectivity. It's got Bluetooth connectivity. It's got,
Boy, does
I think
Brandon
it's got
have
Bluetooth.
something coming.
But it's got, I should double check that before I state that part. But it's got all sorts of sounds you can pull from. And I'm a church musician. I had a church gig at the time where I had the aerophone. And it was a small church, and I'm just filling in. So I recorded myself playing the piano, because they had a Roland piano. So I recorded myself on the piano, the accompaniment part. And then I programmed the aerophone for a cello sound and played an offertory
So
as
is
a
that a
duet with
Roland?
myself.
Is this a Roland product as well?
The aerophone, yes. And yeah, it's just so, to me, that creativity, the joy of creativity, which is, one of our key core beliefs in the company. We design the future is our tagline. That it is R&D, research, be the cutting edge technology, make the most advanced products, but also to develop creativity and enjoyment. And I feel that myself sometimes when I'm exploring some of these interesting instruments. So check out the aerophone.
Well, that's just like, you've got that new entity that's coming out, which is Hamilton.
Brass and woodwind surfaces. So after the podcast, I'll show you
Yeah.
back there. My son and
So
his
that's
professor are working on.
another line that we can start bringing in
Yes,
as well.
sure.
which-
The tour you got earlier in this year is way different than
Way
the
different
tour
than
you
the
got
tour
today.
today.
My mind is just spinning.
And then come in 2 weeks,
his
it'll be
mind.
completely different.
Sorry, Toby.
His mind doesn't stop spinning. That's why
But
we keep
I love that, because that is it really just kind of ties all together. You want people to enjoy music at the level they want to enjoy it, whether
absolutely.
it's way up here or down here, or
doesn't
just
matter.
something funky in the middle. Whatever's best for them.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing with Roland is you guys have so much more than just digital pianos.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's not
There's-
forget the digital pianos, but you're right.
Right. No, right.
But
there's
you've got a lot of entities.
Right.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of other instruments out there.
Right.
We haven't even
synthesizers,
Yeah.
the whole bit.
we haven't even gotten into that part of it. So it's funny because you sent us a price list, and my printer went print And print. And print. I'm like, how much ink is this going to take? I'm like, Anna, stop. Stop it.
Call her and have her send a book.
I needed 1 page. That was it.
Yeah, right. Well, there's a lot of accessories. Which
there are.
Yeah,
A lot of accessories,
a lot,
yeah.
mic cables and, all sorts of things. And there's an awful lot of accessories because that is also, from a business mind, accessory business is fabulous. It's add-on. It's like, do you want fries with that kind of philosophy?
You want to supersize that?
Right, exactly. But it's also as a customer service, one of the benefits of the digital piano, we've talked about it a number of times, is that you can play silently. And people always look at that as, you can put your headphones on and nobody hears you. But if you flip that to the kid taking lessons, I was that kid taking lessons where I always practiced while my mom was cooking dinner. And I'm in the other room playing, and I'm hearing, is that the right note? Was that supposed to be a flat?
Yeah.
And that doesn't sound like a timing is right.
It's even more for you than it is for people around.
Yes, I mean you put the
I
headphone
go,
on.
what are you talking about?
It gives you privacy. So it's it gives you the benefit
Strips
of
away
being
the anxiety. People have anxiety.
Absolutely. I will not play in front of my husband, by the way. Because I think he's such a fabulous player. I don't enjoy sitting there playing. I'll put my headphones on.
Yeah. And that's funny, too, how people feel. There have been numerous times with numerous people that they come in and they don't want to play in front of me. I'm a hack, okay? I am not a good
Ladies and
pianist.
gentlemen, it's out. He's a hack.
I'm a hack. I admit it. This is our meeting about it. But and when people ask me, do you know how to play piano? I say, yeah, I play a little, okay?
Right.
And then I play and they're like, oh my God, no, I'm not that good. I just can ad lib and fake it.
He plays that song a lot.
It's the same song over
It was
and over
Ice
again.
Castles when I was a kid. Everybody played Ice Castles.
But it's so funny because there's so many times that when people have come in and they sit there and they play, I'm like, oh my God,
Where do I sign?
You are so freaking good, and they really are genuinely, And then the ones that aren't, I don't say anything. But the ones that are, I'm like, dude, no, that was fantastic. And they don't think they don't know they're as good as they are, and that's kind of that line with, it's tough because when I play what I play, that one song, okay? And I play it, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It works and blah, blah, blah.
You've heard
people
it.
Think
Multiple times.
You've recorded it.
but people think I'm a better pianist than I actually am.
Of course.
Okay? It is what it is. But when I'm hearing somebody else, playing the piano is opened up into interpretation of how the other person is hearing what that other person is playing. And there's so many times that people have come in and I'm like, do you know how good you are? No. No. And I'm like, dude, you're really good. And they're like, no, I just play for fun or I just this and that. I think people get kind of timid or maybe I'm trying to think of the word, not shy with the piano, but they feel intimidated by the person that is standing there.
Absolutely.
The time that I think people play the best is when they think nobody's listening.
Sure. Yeah.
And there you go with your headphones.
Exactly. And that's why I say there's so many things we think about, and I always try to think about them backwards, thinking about the customer. It's people say, oh, digital pianos, you never have to tune them. Actually what it means is they're always in tune. It's just a little wordplay, but it's thinking about
that's what I gotta say now.
Yeah, it's thinking about the customer instead because it's about them. And to your point, it's we do get intimidated because music is such a personal thing.
It is.
And nobody wants what they feel, their personal feelings, to be ridiculed or critiqued or analyzed. It's just personal.
Bill Riegelman was a piano technician, and he was a friend of mine. He's passed away quite a few years ago, but he made a comment one time that stuck with me when I was, I don't know how long ago he said it, but he said, tuning a piano is intimate. And I'm like, oh, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Playing the piano is the same way.
Absolutely.
It's intimate.
Yeah.
You're getting your feeling with the piano. It's kind of... This part I elaborate on is that for me, it's like an extension of what you're doing.
Yes.
And what you're putting in.
Extension of you.
You're getting fed back to you.
You've got to be in tune with the piano.
Yeah. You're kind of becoming one.
Absolutely.
That's how intimate it can be. And when he said that, I never forgot it because I'm like, I never heard of that before. And when Bill would play the piano, he could make the biggest piece of junk sound beautiful because of the way that he was playing it.
Right.
It was all in his fingers. It was all in how he played it. And it was just one of those things where that intimate. So whether you're tuning it, whether you're playing it, it does. It becomes that part of it where you can become one with the instrument.
Right.
And you're just gelling something together.
Yep.
It's kind of like when we rebuild a piano. So new soundboard, new strings, new hammer, shanks, flanges, a whole new action, new pin block. And, as good as the piano sounds when it's first done, which is still in infancy, it's still trying to find its way and gel together. I've had technicians tell me that, oh my God, now we're talking 3, 4, 5 years later, once those parts gel together and everything starts syncing together, the piano is even more incredible than when it first was put together. And that's just with age. It's like I've been told that violinists prefer a violin that's older because it's aged. It's the same thing with a concert piano. Concert pianists prefer a piano that's aged several years, 5, 7 years, whatever it is, because it's worked all the kinks out, it's worked together, and it's gelled.
Right.
And with us, when we put the parts in the piano, the German strings, Christian Bolduc, soundboards and pin blocks, and the Renner action, and so on and so forth. Once those parts start gelling together, you start getting a sound that you can't get, out of a lot of instruments. I mean, it works, but it's the same thing with what you guys have put into Roland to get it to sound the certain way for someone to be able to be intimate with it.
That's right. And then to have such advanced technology that you really can take that a step further and make it your own.
Yeah.
By, the designer and the tuning and the, whatever it is that you're doing to it to make it your instrument. Yeah. I totally agree.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fascinating, because when you have different spectrums, you've got acoustic and you got digital. So you have those two to go with.
Right.
It's just like, well, what fits your needs?
Right.
That's what it kind of boils down
Absolutely.
to.
There's this misconception, I believe out there, you're either, it's acoustic customer, it's a digital customer. If you sell digitals, you're being, selling your soul.
We've been there before, haven't we?
To the real. Well, we're not going to that.
I'm sorry. I used to think that way. I used to think that way back in the day.
I know.
Last year.
I know. It's my favorite podcast. But I believe it to be a misconception because there is room for both, because there are people for both.
There really is.
Exactly.
And as long as it's done well, I mean, again, in my belief, some people automatically just assume that an acoustic piano is better. I've seen plenty of upright acoustic pianos that are nowhere near as good as our product.
I agree with
because
you.
they're not maintained. They're not taken care of. They didn't start good in the first place.
They were never built right.
Right, exactly. It's a misconception, and there is room for both because there's people.
Right,
for
correct.
both.
Like my daddy used to say, there's a butt for every bench.
There you go.
I mean, it is,
Yeah,
and
sure.
so you've got the pros and cons,
Yep.
between both, but it's really what do you need?
Right.
So do you need this or do you need that?
Well, there's a business to be built into
Right,
that if you're
absolutely.
interested in it.
Right.
A
Absolutely.
continuing education
Right.
business on the product, but also as again, I'm just nonstop talking about education, but it's what I believe in. As people grow, as people play, as people get better, as people develop, they may want a higher level, high-end concert grand piano.
Right.
But if you don't start them with what they need,
Absolutely.
they're never getting there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They can
And-
start with
yeah,
that and
right.
wind up with that.
Right, or they start over there and they never go anywhere because
Absolutely.
they don't like it.
Yeah, and someone's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just what is the right avenue for that
For
person.
them.
You
And
know,
a lot of kids I hear say, I had a digital when I was growing up, but I always wanted a baby grand.
Right.
Or I always wanted a grand piano.
Right.
which they wind up having.
Someday, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
So they always
Right.
start with
A lot of
something
people do.
similar to this.
Right,
You
a
know,
lot
I
of people.
mean,
And there's also the misconception that a keyboard is not a digital piano.
Right.
You know, and there's so many people that just don't, that they haven't played.
That was me, by the way.
Yeah. I made my notes. I'm ready.
I don't see your notebook.
Exit stage
Right
left.
here. No, I mean, it is, again, it's just that misconception. And okay, all joking aside, you know, I applaud you for what you were willing to take a step, a risk, in truly, in your mind, I'm sure, in adding a digital piano to your piano rebuilding beautiful business. I mean because you have been a strong opponent. Is that fair to say? Or
Did you say component or opponent?
I started with a component, changed it to opponent because it just wasn't what your belief system was for the customers, because you wanted to do right and do best by your customers. And you have kind of been able to, and I'm grateful that you chose our company to be that partner with you. But
started it.
I started it.
I know, Mike. I know.
Gotta
I
give 'em
know.
props.
I know, absolutely.
If I didn't
true.
turn that key,
Well, that's right.
Engine would have
That's right.
started.
That's right. But you also recognize, having done that, there is a market.
No,
for
there
it. And it's not
absolutely is.
hurting you. It's not hurting the core beliefs of your business.
No.
It's
Right.
complementing.
No, by no means.
Yeah, it's
It-
complementing it.
Yeah, it helps it, and it's giving more customers. So for us, when a customer walks in here, what we're trying to make sure they make the right decision
For them.
first and foremost. And once we figure out what their needs are, these are the options that we have.
Right.
Yep.
So before we had Roland, we only had kind of one option.
Right.
with
Right.
this acoustic
you want to go up the
pianos.
road?
Right.
And now that we have Roland and we have the FP30X and up,
on up,
from
right.
there with all the models, it's giving the customers more options.
Right.
So we're here to help the customer decide what they're looking for.
Right.
If you need this, you need this. If you need this, you need this. Do you want to start here? Do you want to, so on and so forth. So it comes down to making sure that when a customer comes into the doors, we're just trying to help them out.
Right.
We're not here to force anything on
Nope.
anybody. We're
No.
just here to, okay, well,
Guide
this is
you.
what this does.
We're your
Right,
tour
guide you.
guides.
Yes.
We're your tour
In the
guides to
piano
our
world,
store.
yes.
Yeah.
We're the ambassadors.
Yes. Well, that's a great word for it, because you really are ambassadors. And I have been places where the customers don't. Oh, they think they know what they want, but they don't always know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They may come in saying, "I don't want a digital. I want this. I want that," but maybe they haven't played one since 1972 when you push the key down to sound like an accordion, right? So things have changed, and I encourage salespeople when I go into stores and do trainings and talk with them. What do you have to lose? First you do take a tour of your store, but if somebody comes in and says, "I want an acoustic piano," and you've shown them your options, and you have not sold them. They're not leaving going, "I'm going to think about something particular." You haven't sold them. You just haven't found what they're really looking for yet.
Yeah.
What does it hurt you to walk them over to the Roland pianos, whether they asked for it or not, just to say, "I just want to let you know these are here too."
Right.
Because you are trying to find what they want.
Well,
And
that's like-
that's happened.
Yeah, that's like Toby. He's had a customer for years, which I forget the gentleman's name. I want to say Tom, but I might be wrong.
Sure.
We took his Baldwin upright, and you replaced it with a Roland digital.
No, not
Oh,
Tom.
yeah, Bill.
It wasn't Bill.
It was Tommy. Yes, Bruce.
Bruce.
It was
That was it.
Close.
No, Bruce.
But no, I mean
Right.
Toby took on his Baldwin, and he goes, "I don't have room for it."
Right.
Toby goes, "I have a perfect Roland for you."
Yeah, there you go.
It was a Baldwin vertical,
Mhm.
and he was moving to a smaller place, and we got to talking, and he ended up buying a 704 from us, and we traded.
That's
his
where it went.
in. That's why it's not here. And we I gave him a trade-in value, and I said, "Here you go." And he's a piano teacher, so he's been
Perfect.
a very good customer of ours for 15 years, I think, and he's a super cool guy, and so he's been happy, And he never even came in. He goes, "Toby, you tell me what I trust you, and blah blah blah." And he told me what he liked. I said that would be perfect for you, and so it was.
Isn't that something to have that kind of relationship with the customers? It speaks volumes about your business here.
And that's the thing too, is a lot of times I tell customers when they're here, just read our reviews. They said we already have. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And two, I always tell them, don't take my word for it. Just call any technician. Look at our reviews. Whatever.
Come in.
Right,
Come in. We have nothing to prove but excellence here.
Or hide. We have nothing to hide here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why do we need to hide anything?
That we can show you exactly everything we're doing behind the curtains here, and we do that because
Pull them back.
We want customers to feel secure in their purchase.
Sure.
We had a customer this morning. She purchased a piano from us, and she was with her mom on the phone, and there was a lot of questions. We answered all the questions, and we said, "Listen, we're giving you a 5-year warranty, which is what some new manufacturers do. And this isn't an older piano. It wasn't terribly old, but, because we can back ourselves up.
Sure.
And it's our job to try to go through all the conversation to figure out what it's going to be that they're looking for. And then once that happens, the light bulb ding, 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 ding goes off. I'm like, oh, you want something like this.
Yeah, right.
But it takes
You need this 9-footer over here.
Right.
But
going back to your earlier comment, that's the service that sometimes the click and buy, they don't get, and they may end up with something that this isn't what I thought it was going to be. How many times have I done that myself? It's just we're all trained from the Amazon world, if you will. We sit in our pajamas at 9:30 at night.
all right.
You're just taking a chance.
you
You've
are.
read the
Absolutely.
reviews, you've watched a few videos, but you don't really know.
Yeah.
No.
And that's where the brick and mortar comes in, because people actually have a place to come to and be, hey, I got this from you, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Whatever the situation is, they have that to feel safe and secure.
Right.
So it's a win-win-win.
There you go.
There you go. Win-win-win. We like
There you
those.
go.
We win,
That's right.
you win, and customer wins.
Yeah,
Customer
exactly.
wins, and that's really the order, isn't it? Customer
Absolutely.
wins.
Yeah.
Yes. And you're my customer, then you win, and then we win.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Ellen, thank you very much.
This
We
has been
appreciate
so
it.
Thank you.
fun.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Did I do okay?
You
No.
did good.
I don't know. Did
Well,
you?
we can do it again.
We'll see how many views you get.
I am one of your 3 subscribers.
Oh, we went from 2 to 3. We're good.
No, all kidding aside, I very much appreciate you having me on. It's been such a
We
pleasure
appreciate
getting
you
to
coming.
know you guys, and we're very, very grateful
We
for.
should see you more often.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'd love that.
And we're just on,
Just
not
across
too
the
far away,
way.
yeah.
Just
Not
an
too
hour
far
away.
Yeah, more like 3.
So
I'm well aware.
If anyone's interested in a Roland, of course, you can get it at Hamilton Piano Company.
Absolutely.
And Ellen is our rep, so she can answer any questions that I can't or Mike can't. And, if you have any questions, just give us a call over at Hamilton Piano Company. And
561.
965.
8090.
There we go.
Call today.
win.
HamiltonPianoCo.com.
Yep.
And we're on Facebook and YouTube and
Spotify.
Spotify.
every other place. And thank you very much for joining us. We hope everyone enjoyed it and continue to watch us. So we appreciate it. Thanks. Have a good night.
Thank you.